Welcome to another episode of Bucklesberry Lemonade. On this episode, we delve into three baffling disappearances, each cloaked in mystery and marked by unsettling twists. First, we journey to Benton, Arkansas, where 45-year-old Cory Schroeder seemingly vanished into thin air after cryptically hinting at a new adventure on his social media page. Then, we explore the haunting cases of Jennifer Hammond and Christina White, two young women whose tragic disappearances and murders unfolded eerily close to one another in upstate New York. Cases that may very well be linked to a recent high-profile kidnapping. Finally, we revisit the unsolved case of Brookelyn Farthing in Berea, Kentucky, whose final desperate text messages still leave investigators and loved ones grappling with unanswered questions. These are not just stories of missing persons. They're tales of high strangeness that blur the line between the explainable and the inexplicable. What really happened to Cory, Jennifer, Christina, and Brookelyn? Join us now as we unravel the chilling details of their disappearances and explore the dark mysteries that linger in their wake.
707 Andrews Tower. Are you ready? Welcome to Bucklesberry Lemonade, the podcast. Now let's get right into it. First off, the mysterious disappearance of Cory Schroeder. Cory Schroeder vanished under puzzling circumstances in Benton, Arkansas on May 21st, 2019, just one day before his 45th birthday. A Facebook post Cory shared shortly before his disappearance adds to the mystery. Going to be leaving Facebook in a few days. Going on a new adventure. What Cory meant by this remains unclear, as he hasn't been active on social media since.
On the day he disappeared, Cory was reportedly dropped off by a friend at a Huckabee store on Highway 35 in Benton. He was wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, carrying a red and black backpack. From there, we start to get conflicting accounts. They start to emerge. According to his sister, Cory either walked or got a ride to a friend's home on Cottonwood. That same friend claims Cory later left on foot, but no one knows where he went next. This individual is currently incarcerated on unrelated charges, but it's unclear whether they're considered a person of interest in Cory's disappearance.
Well, standing at an imposing 6'8" and weighing approximately 235 pounds, Cory's disappearance raises many questions about how someone of his stature could vanish without a trace. His family believes that someone in the Benton community holds the key to what happened.
The Saline County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate Cory's disappearance. His family and loved ones are desperate for answers and urge anyone with information to come forward. If you know anything that could help, please contact the Saline County Sheriff's Department at 501-303-5741. Together, they hope to uncover the truth and bring Cory home. Strange case.
That is very strange. I mean, he's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Man.
6'8".
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Looks like, though, from everything that I could find, that basically a good guy.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Just a strange case.
Yeah.
His nickname is Stretch.
I wonder why.
I wonder why that is. But that's his last known location.
That is just, I mean, how can someone that tall just, I know anybody can disappear, but he stands out.
Yeah, he's definitely going to stand out, and he's got a lot of tattoos. An 8 ball on his right upper arm, infinity symbol with the name Aiden and Holly on his left upper arm, a skeleton hourglass on his stomach, and the letters DMH across his chest, and Jesus loves me across his back.
Hmm.
So, you know, I did come in doing the research. I did come across a Facebook page. It's called Cory Schroeder. Have you seen me? And this appears to be ran by maybe his family and some friends.
Got you.
And in reading through this, he was extremely well liked. People just thought a lot of Cory.
That's what makes it so.
Hey, you know, in some of the other cases that we've done over time, you remember we did some, this has been a long time ago, back from our previous channel.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about some Jane Does that had been disappeared, and one of them had been found down she had been out, they believe she had been out hitchhiking, and you know how you've got the railing on the side of the road,
yes,
like the little barrier to keep you from going off,
like that's gonna stop anything.
Yeah, she was actually found on the backside of one of these.
Oh my goodness.
And she of course was deceased, but the thing of it is that you kind of stop and wonder, you know, how could you really vanish without a trace when there's so much that could go wrong when you're walking out on a highway?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, there's not.
I mean, I wonder that, and I'm speculating, and you know, is it possible he could have been hit by a car and they didn't stop? He went over this embankment.
Now that is possible, but did they have a search?
Yeah, I mean they've done a lot trying to find him. I mean, a lot. It's just this is one of those strange cases that you read about, and then you factor in the fact that this man is 6'8". You have got to be really sure of yourself or really crazy
to mess with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know at 235 and 6'8", that's a big guy, but he's not
fat.
Yeah, he's not real heavy set. But still, somebody 6'8" is an imposing figure.
Yeah, I wouldn't readily jump on somebody that tall.
I don't think anybody would. So that's where I come back to, did something else happen? Like maybe he was accidentally hit by a car and they didn't stop. What if he had some kind of medical emergency and was deceased like that? I mean,
but nobody saw him leave the store.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Yeah.
But and look, you're saying though, that is possible. I mean, and it is possible for somebody to overtake.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen.
But I mean, I don't think he just walked off and didn't come back. I don't think he's still with us.
Yeah, something. Worst case scenario, I hope that is what happened. I hope he just decided.
Yeah.
But that's the cryptic part of it. You leave a message, goodbye Facebook, on to a new adventure. And you know,
he was well loved and he loved his family.
He loved his family and friends. Was there anything else troubling this guy for him to just decide, hey, I'm going to because that is a clue of some sort.
That is some sort of clue.
But what if we've read more into it? What if it was just he might have been getting ready to go on a date, or maybe a new job,
something where he wouldn't have time to
be on Facebook a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, is it that simple, or is there something darker? Was Was he troubled by something and just decided he's going to put everything down and leave? I mean, when you go through this Facebook page, it is obvious that people thought a lot of him, and you don't really do that. But there's no record. Was he depressed or anything like that?
Nobody said anything.
Mm-mm. Nobody has said anything.
This one is, all of them are sad, but this is like he just disappeared off the face of the earth, and that is,
it's very strange.
that is not, yeah.
Going to be leaving Facebook in a few days, going on a new adventure. I really hope for their sake he just walked off the face of the earth. He's somewhere healthy and happy.
But then his family would be hurt, crushed, and upset.
Yeah, I would like for them to have some kind of closure.
I want him to have something. I would love for it to be where he would be like something happened. He got in a coma.
Maybe.
And he just woke up and didn't know who he was.
Again, folks, if you have any information about this, please contact the proper authorities. In this point, in Benton, Arkansas, that would be 501-303-5741. This is in regards to Cory Schroeder. If you have any information regarding this case, please contact the proper authorities.
Linked by tragedy, the murders of Jennifer Hammond and Christina White. Jennifer Hammond, an 18-year-old known affectionately as Moonbeam, disappeared on August the 1st, 2003. She had been working as a magazine salesperson and living in Albany, New York, with co-workers. On the day she vanished, Jennifer was dropped off at the Creek and Pines mobile home park in Milton to sell subscriptions door to door. When her co-workers returned to pick her up, she was nowhere to be found. She never returned to the hotel, and her family's worst fears soon became reality.
Wow. We could do a whole podcast just on the dangers of selling subscription magazines.
Door to door.
Yeah.
Any selling door to door.
Any selling. 2 years later, another young woman, 19-year-old Christina White, went missing under very similar circumstances. June 30th, 2005, Christina was last seen by her mother at their home in Stockade Mobile Home Park, just 2 miles from where Jennifer was last seen.
No.
9 months later, Christina's remains were discovered in Daketown Forest, Greenfield. She'd been injured multiple times.
Oh.
You have to read into that because of the algorithm.
Yes.
Investigators determined that she was unalived shortly after her disappearance.
For years, Jennifer remained missing. Then, in October 2009, a hunter found a human skull in Lake Desolation Forest, Greenfield, just over 3 miles from where Christina's body was found. Forensic testing identified the skull as Jennifer's. Her unaliving was ruled a homicide, and investigators began to connect the two cases.
Detectives suspect the same person was responsible for both murders. Though no arrests have been made, it's interesting that in 2023, authorities arrested Craig Nelson Ross Jr. in connection with the kidnapping of a 9-year-old who was miraculously rescued and alive. Okay. Given Ross's connections to the Milton area, authorities are now examining whether he could be linked to Jennifer and Christina's murders.
Wow. Anyone with information about these cases is urged to contact the Sarasota Springs Police Department at 518-584-1800.
Yeah, this is a weird case here.
It is, and sad.
they're just trying to speculate now and see if there's any connection with the kidnapping, the Ross guy. But we we were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Christina White, she disappeared after leaving her home at Stockade Mobile Home Park. It's now called like the Saratoga Village, I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Okay, and this is only a mile, roughly 1.2 miles from the trailer park that Jennifer disappeared from.
Well, see, that's coincidence. I think it's more than
Yeah, I
coincidence.
really do too. I think somebody was watching her. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Christina was seen by witnesses walking on the road in that area. I believe Geisher Road and Roland Street.
Hmm.
And that's roughly about 3 miles from her actual home. Now, here's the kicker: for Christina to get there, she would have had to walk past Middle Line Road, the creek, and Pines. That is the entrance to the mobile home park. That's where they all intersect, a quarter mile from the intersection of Geisher and Middle. And
Oh.
she would have had to walk right past the entrance
Mm-mm.
where Jennifer. I'm telling you, that's just
It's
weird.
not a coincidence.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I'm telling you, I believe that Ross guy. I'm sure he had, especially if he was around.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things. They feel like they're linked because of the proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the distance, but the time. I mean that. If we're talking serial killers, we know they cool off for a little while.
Yeah.
And it's just really crazy. I know that they did a lot of research around that area. They checked for different things. The physical characteristics, they both were young adult women disappeared around trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
They were both petite. And then they were in close proximity of each other at the time of discovery.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So I don't know.
I don't. But it's really interesting.
That's one of those things to where, oh my gosh, that's just really crazy.
It is bad. Very.
And then you've got this Craig Nelson Ross Jr. guy.
Okay? He was just la 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 la.
In 2023, he was 46 years old at the time. He was arrested and charged with the kidnapping of a 9-year-old little girl from a campground in Moreau Lake State Park. Now, fingerprints from a ransom note that he had left behind led authorities to his mother's house in Milton. And luckily, the little girl was found alive, and it appears she was okay. She was actually hidden in a cupboard in the home. And he was charged with the kidnapping, which he should have been.
Of course.
And now they're investigating whether or not Ross may have played a role in the disappearances and murder of Jennifer and Christina.
Because he would have been there.
Well, he would have been around. I mean, this is a serious crime that's taken place in proximity of where we know two young girls to have been.
Yeah.
We do know he for all intent purposes, it doesn't look like anything happened to the little girl.
Good.
She was just held for ransom. But is that not horrible enough?
That's horrible enough. That really is. But why would he ransom her?
So if you take the close proximity of Ross to both Christina and Jennifer when they were last seen and then where they were found, he fits in there.
He does.
Now, I don't know where in that puzzle he fits.
He fits there.
It could be he's guilty of association, but
or knowing,
but he committed a crime, and it puts him in proximity to all of this. And that's kind of really interesting. If you have any information regarding this case, if you know anything in regards to the disappearances of Jennifer and Christina, please contact the Saratoga Springs Police Department at 518-584-1800. Again, 518-584-1800.
Please call.
And you know, I do realize that Jennifer Hammond Moonbeam, that's what she was called.
Yeah.
That's a crazy way to make a living. You know, you used to see those kinds of ads.
Yeah, but at the same time,
when we were teenagers, you remember seeing them in the newspaper? Travel the country, see the America.
I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah, but you hear so many stories.
But in 2003, people didn't go door to door as much.
I don't know. I've seen people coming door to door just as much as I always have. And I'll be honest with you, I noticed that when I lived in the city,
it was worse.
No, that's the kicker. It was bad, but it was worse in the rural areas.
Why?
I've had twice as many people. But so what I'm getting at is, I imagine these trailer parks were hot spots for this kind of door-to-door activity, because you're able to hit so many houses in such a short time. Did she knock on the wrong door?
She probably did.
And did Christina walk by at the wrong time?
I think so.
And the right person see her?
The wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting, though. I did, in doing the research for this, there is a trend for magazine subscriptions and crime.
There is.
Yeah. I mean, there have been several women who have went missing, and that's what they were doing.
They don't need to do that. No, I would never do that. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, that's just crazy.
If I go door to door, you're coming with me.
Absolutely. But I do believe that their cases are connected on some level. And with that, we will move on to the next case. Now we're going to talk about Brookelyn Farthing. She was an 18-year-old from Berea, Kentucky, and she disappeared under some pretty alarming circumstances. June 22nd, 2013, and her case still remains unsolved, and it's left her loved ones searching for answers and justice.
And the evening began with Brookelyn attending a party with her sister and cousin. While they left early, Brookelyn stayed behind, planning to get a ride home later. Unfortunately, an argument with her intended ride left her stranded. A male acquaintance, Joshua Hensley, offered to take her to his home, and she accepted.
Throughout the night, Brookelyn sent several texts asking friends to come get her. Okay. So around 5:30 a.m., her ex-fiance received a very strange and cryptic message. Please hurry. I'm scared. Not long after, another message follows stating,
Never mind. I'm okay.
I'm going to a party in Rockcastle County.
Investigators believe this second text was not sent by Brookelyn. That morning, Hensley reportedly left to tend to horses in a nearby field. When he returned around 7 a.m., he claimed the couch where Brookelyn had been sitting was engulfed in flames. The fire had consumed the couch and burned a hole in the floor, but it was extinguished before spreading further. Strangely, the house had no electricity, as the homeowner was in the process of moving out, and the power had been off for weeks. The fire was deemed suspicious by investigators.
Brookelyn was nowhere to be found, and her cell phone was missing. Her cowboy boots, purse, and overnight bag remained in the house. Authorities believe Brookelyn was taken against her will, and despite extensive searches, no trace has ever been found.
Brookelyn's family continues to seek answers, hoping someone will come forward with information that can solve the case. If you know anything about Brooklyn Farthing's disappearance, please contact the Kentucky State Police at 859-623-2404.
This haunting case is a grim reminder of how quickly the unthinkable can happen. Brooklyn's loved ones deserve closure, and her story deserves to be told. This is a strange case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's cut and dried who's responsible.
I do too. How does your couch? Just one spot. The spot she said, how?
It's crazy. So what we know is that on June 21st, 2013, 18-year-old Brookelyn Farthing dropped by a house party with her sister, Paige, and her cousin. Now, somewhere around in there, Paige and the cousin told Brookelyn they were leaving. According to Paige,
Brooklyn wanted to stay.
Yeah, she had made arrangements to sleep over, and even showed her overnight bag that she had bought.
Gotcha.
But I guess plans for that fell through. But you know, she's 18, so you really don't know. Later that evening, witnesses claim they saw her catch a ride with two young men.
Mm-hmm.
The driver allegedly knew her ex-boyfriend. Police told the trio to drive out to the spot. Let's see. Police said the trio drove out to a spot on Floyd Branch Road to visit horses that the driver took care of. So now we're out by where he's living.
Yes. Okay.
After that, he took the and this would be Hensley. Okay, Josh Hensley. He would have took the male passenger home and drove Brooklyn back to his place. Now, here's something interesting. Okay, Brooke at her very best is 5'1".
Mm-hmm.
She is petite.
She's small.
Okay. Now, as we go on, and I'll just go ahead and say it now, Mr. Hensley is currently incarcerated for crimes involving things. Okay. Crimes against
nature.
I feel so. But anyway, he's currently incarcerated for crimes committed against a minor.
I got
you. At least 3 counts.
Oh my goodness.
Now he is 6'3", and at the time of his incarceration, weighed 291 pounds.
Oh my goodness. And she's a little bitty itty thing.
Barely 5'1". Okay. So there's all kinds of speculation that can go on there.
But didn't the police clear it?
They cleared him, but
that doesn't make sense to me.
In doing the research, I found some things that feel like that some of the statements made and some of the forms were maybe he was being protected. Protected from what? Because obviously he wasn't protected enough. He's in prison.
Yeah. And
he should be in prison.
Most definitely.
I mean, because what he's done is horrendous.
Very bad.
But I guess when it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's usually a duck. Okay. Why was the couch on fire? Why'd you set that couch on fire?
And she's not a stupid thing.
And she kept texting saying she felt afraid. Her ex-boyfriend, when she texted him, he told her he could come get her from work, but it would be around 7 a.m.
And
so he's not putting a lot of he's not putting a lot of emphasis in, hey, I'm scared. It's like if you and I had broke up and you text me at 4:00 in the morning and you say, hey, I'm scared. Can you come get me? Well, in my mind, I'm probably the last person you wanted to contact. But if you felt the need to contact me, I need to come check on your welfare. I realize we're talking 18, 19-year-olds as well.
Yeah.
I get that,
Yeah.
But she made the comment that she was scared.
And she text what was it? Her sister?
Yeah, she texted a couple other people too. And then, around 5:30, a final text came from her phone, someone claiming she was going to another party, and then said, "Nope, never mind. I'm okay. We're good." And I don't know did he text? You hear that all the time.
I think
I just find it really funny. You got a guy who's in jail on something that's horrible, that involves being methodical, involves planning, involves scheming.
And then he was around. His couch burned up.
His couch burned up. I think his couch burned up because he was trying to burn up evidence.
Probably so.
There's something on that couch, and we about know what that would be.
Yeah.
That he didn't want found.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely possible. We already know he's got a thing for a certain age group.
Yes.
This little girl's petite. It's a giant of a man. 6'3", 291.
But didn't. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I just.
And I think
I don't see how the police cleared him.
Yeah, I don't either. I think, why did you take her there to a house that you're moving out of, that's vacant, that has no electricity? I know why you took her there.
Exactly.
I know why you took her there. You took her there because you thought you had the potential for a little action.
Mm-hmm.
And it backfired on you.
You got angry.
And you got angry. And what'd you do?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think happened. I really do. I think.
But where is she at?
She needs to be found. She has not been found.
The couch is burnt. Did they go look? Why didn't they dig up this place?
Well, that's the weird thing too. You figure he went out to feed the horses. That implies a very large area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is it big enough that you could have disposed of her?
Mm-hmm.
Are there hogs on that farm?
Yeah, that's something to think about.
So now I have heard that she really didn't know the guy very well. He was just somebody she knew was friends with her ex. But I find that so weird. Would your flag not go off and say, "Hey, look, I don't think I'm gonna go with you," And why? And this is how human nature factors into things. You've got a set of young people, a sister and a cousin, who, okay, you're going to go spend the night at a sleepover. No problem. No check-ins, no nothing. And then that didn't happen. And why didn't it happen? Who's the person she was supposed to sleep over with? Have they come forward and confirmed that part of the story? Or was she planning on seeing somebody else? We got any jealousy going on here? Have we got any other issues that we don't know about? And I think we do.
Yeah.
But my sack of shit award goes to Josh Hensley.
Yeah.
I do believe that he knows more
than what he knows a lot more.
I think he does. Lisa, what's that number?
The number is 859-623-2404. The Kentucky State Police. Please, if you know something.
In regards to Brookelyn Farthing, if you have any information, there is also a $14,000 reward offered.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of websites. There's findbrookfarthing.com. She also has a Facebook page that is ran by her. It looks like her family. Mm-hmm. And that can be checked into as well.
Yes.
Some strange cases.
Each just as sad as the next.
They really are. Well, guys, with that, this was a brief podcast. We appreciate all the emails, text messages, and checking up on us. We hope this podcast is a little more to your liking. And I'll edit that out. So. And with that, guys, this brings us to the end of our podcast. Again, if you have any information regarding any of these cases, please do the right thing. Contact the authorities. There are plenty of family
that would like a little bit of closure.
Yes, they are. So, until next time.
Have a Bucklesberry lemonade kind of day.